Hello everyone, today I want to show you ID software 4.0 in my Volkswagen ID.7 in detail. So I try to explain every button there is in the infotainment system. I'm sure I won't know everything, but I'm trying. If you want to follow me on Instagram, here's Battery Life 1, and if you want to support the channel, there's a Patreon link in the description below, and there's also channel membership here on YouTube. Like I said many times, you still have your user privacy setting here that you have to okay. If you don't do that, you only get into the climate and the parking menu. We don't want that. You can change the user if you're not this, but I say okay, we go into user in a second so you can see everything. You also have those buttons underneath. So these are is a temperature for the driver and for the passenger, and here in the middle we have volume control for music, all illuminated, and you can press it or you can swipe it. So you can swipe to a direction and it will do that. And we have the on off button. When you press it long, it will reset your infotainment system. If you have music on and you press it, it will turn off the music, pause or mute it depending on what it is. The layout is pretty easy. Underneath you have your climate and your seats. On top you have all your apps here, your vehicle here, then 5 elements that you can choose yourself, your outside temperature, your 4G connection if you are connected to the internet, and there could be a message here if there is one, and your clock, and that's it. The only thing that you can do is swipe left and right to your pages, and you can have more pages. I think 5 is the maximum. And you have your favorite menu when you swipe down. How to configure them we do in a second. First we're gonna do the layout. If you want to change your layout here, you do a long press, and then you can delete the page. You can put different elements in there, and the elements are different for what size it has. So for a gigantic size of the map, you can have your telephone or your radio. If you are here at this quarter size, you have more functions that you can put in: navigation, telephone, vehicle, if there's anything wrong with the car, error messages and something, driving data, tips, help, charging, and the IDA, the voice control. You can add a new page, and the new page can then be different layouts. You can see them down here, a very big one, and like it was now, it can also be with a half big one that I think is page 2 with me, then very big, and then quarter, and stuff like this. You can decide whatever you want, and let's try the last one here. Let's do a new page, and then you can decide what you want. So this could be your telephone, it can be your route, it can be your vehicle, it can be driving data, it can be your air conditioning, it can be music, it can be your seats. This is cool, I haven't seen that yet. It can be your IDA, like I said, it can be your driving profile and ambient light. And then you can go through the small ones, of course, have even more. You can, what do we have? My God, everything I think can be in here. In the small ones, in the quarter ones, it's not as much. And if you don't want that page, you can delete that page again. And then we're back in the beginning. So if we go in here and say put the driving data in here, you then have here your driving data, you have your since start, long term, since charging, and when you swipe up you have your trip information. You see the date of the day, your odometer, 1971 kilometers, no, 3494. I don't know what this is, so I have it here too. It doesn't I don't know what those 1971 kilometers are, because this is my odometer, my state of charge, my range, the date. I don't know what this is. And that's radio media we already did. You can put navigation in there again. And when you do that, you have a compass, or you have your exact coordinates and above sea level measurement. Then we can have our phone in there that just shows the phone and calls. Vehicle just shows drive safe, then your tires if there's anything else, and your next inspection. No. Then driving data we did. Tips, configure your home screen. Is there anything else? No, that's it. Charging, it's just a bigger screen than down here. IDA will just show you stuff, other stuff that you can do. I have it on media, and the small one can be all of it. I mean, air conditioning, you can turn it to auto and stuff. Can I do this one to auto? No, I can't. But I can switch this to air conditioning. And then I have my air conditioning in here, which is pretty neat. You have everything in here, even where the vents go and the rear. That's pretty neat. And your airflow, you can adjust here. You have your air conditioning on, off here. That's pretty neat. Driving data, we did. Sound, you can do then what sound profile you want. Your seat can have in here, so you have driver or passenger. And when you go in here, you have your auto function, max heating. We go through this in a second. And then your massage here, if you want that. That is nice. And what else did we have? IDA driving profile. You can have your driving profiles in here and then switch through them. I have to be on, I'm guessing. Yes. Then this works. What else? With a route is then like it was in the ID3. When you have your route in here, you see, let's navigate to somewhere. Start. It goes, it's pretty fast. And then if we go here, it just tells you all the information that is on that route. You're there in 32 minutes. And it tells you you arrive with 28%, for example, right now. I go back, I can cancel that. That's your route. I have my driving data in here. What else? Sound we did, air conditioning did, telephone just shows all the numbers. Background, if you have a special thing for your ambient light. Cool. Then configuration for underneath is also simple. So those two buttons here and those three buttons here you can configure. You just press again long, and then you have a lot of different functions. You have for the climate, of course, auto, AC, AC max, sync, air to windscreen, air to body, air to feet, defog, warm my feet, cool my feet, fresh air, warm hands, rapid heating, rapid cooling, air recirculation, the on off for your heat, windscreen heating I have on here, steering wheel heating, air care, and what's up here, delete favorite, factory settings. You can go back if you did something that you don't want to have, and you can, like I said, those two and those three. The seat heating or seat configuration, you just go on to seat, and the left one is for the driver, right one is for the passenger, and just go between those. You're always greeted with your max heating, max seat ventilation or dry boost, and your auto function. So if right now I have the seat heating on one, I can also do auto, and then it thinks itself what I would like. So if I want it very warm or very cold, so it will do heating, cooling or ventilation, whatever it thinks that I want. But there's a setting for it. When you go into settings, seat air conditioning, you can set driver and passenger different settings, how warm you want the seat and how cool you want ventilation. So when you go in here, it explains it. Your seat climate can be adjusted to your personal preference. The seat heating and ventilation are automatically adjusted to your requirements. And then here, adjust the automatic seat air conditioning to your requirements. If you set the temperature selected to a higher temperature, the system will heat more frequently and for longer periods. If you set the ventilation select to a higher level, the ventilation system will come on sooner and at a higher intensity. And then you have these smart programs allow you to briefly adjust the automatic seat air conditioning settings. Once the program has elapsed, the automatic seat air conditioning will resume. Because, so like I said, let's do it to this level. And for my wife also like this. And the amazing is you can do the seat and the backrest in a different way. That's awesome. And when we are here and you go to max heating, you can see this thing here is going around, so it does it for 3-4 minutes, something like this. And if you don't have auto on, That means when you're in your normal settings that you turn your seat heater here and your seat cooling here. So if it's not in auto, but that's still amazing. Next is massage. When you go into massage, you can switch it between driver and passenger again. You select here what massage you want. There are 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 different ones. The first ones are mostly just on the back, and the last few ones are also on the bum. And you can see a little animation. It's not exactly representing what's happening, but you can see what it does. And when it does the massaging, so let's say I go back to the lumbar, then you can see that the bum is doing something as well. You can stop it here. You can stop it on your massage button on your seat as well. The intensity and the duration of the massage. And this is of course done for passenger and for the driver. The next thing is positioning. When you are in these settings on the driver door, driver seat, when I do a positioning, it will position the passenger seat. And if I press synchronize, it will, as long as I press it, so it's not one button and it does it, you have to hold it, then it will sync exactly my position on the driver to the passenger. Other settings that we have is the driver seat convenient entry function. That means when you open the door, the seat will go back and lower, and when you get in, it is at that lower and further back position. And when you close the door and press and sit in, it will go to your normal position. And of course we have memory function on the seat that you press just set and 1, set or 2, and then it will be safe to get a little beep. And that's the seats. Then we go up here. Those 5 buttons here, like I said, can be configured as well. And you have all your apps up here. Again, you can delete a favorite and go back to factory setting. I have installed all the apps that you can install on this car via the shop, Spotify, games. No, I didn't install WeCharge because I don't need that. And you can switch them out. And if you, for example, have Android Auto in here, if your phone is not connected, it will also not show. It will show a different icon here. It will show the App Connect icon. And then your favorites. When you swipe down, you have your brightness here. That you can switch. By the way, you can switch the ID light, display and switch light. So not just the display gets darker, also all the buttons on your steering wheel. Head-up display brightness can be adjusted, and the ID light. And here, this is just for screen and your buttons. Then you can be in bright mode or in dark mode. Who goes into bright mode, and then you have 8 favorites again that you can adjust. Just press it long, and then you have 4 pages that you can put in. Your manual, tips, helps, IDA, massage program, compose message if your phone is connected, contacts, call number, redial, media, station list, radio, media favorites, traffic programming, so if there's traffic information, charging stations, last destination, navigation announcement, navigating to work, to home, sound profile, sound, audio, background light, air condition immediately, hotspot, Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. You can have all of this in here. Then this is done, swipe this up. So we did this. So the next thing is our vehicle menu. In the vehicle menu, again, we have 6 things that we can change, and we have 3 pages here, so 18. Again, we have delete favorite and reset all. In here we have keyless access, so you can turn it on and off very fast. You zero your trip, it will be the SYN start. Charging, no, I think it's the special one. Well, we'll see. What does it say? Trip recorder, that's what I wanted. The trip recorder will be reset. Then we have a head-up display on, off, and this is important. When you turn off head-up display, it's not done in a second. It takes a few seconds. You hear it's doing something. Head-up position, it will go into menu, so you can change the position. ID light, it goes in that menu. Wiper service position, the wipers go up. Lower mirror in gear R, so you can turn it on and off very fast. Fold when locking, I like to have that because if it's freezing, I turn it off. Interior monitoring, auto hold, ESC system off, so that the wheels don't spin. I have never tried that. Driver profile and assist system. And when you press this button up here, you get into vehicle where we want to go anyways, but in a second. First, the next menu that we have is this up here, and these are all the apps we have. We have telephone, where you can add a favorite, you see your last calls, you can dial, you have your message. When you go into settings, you can put in your voicemail number, that it's HD voice quality, reject call with text message template, all your messages and your contacts. Select phone. Here you can see all your phones that you have connected, and here in settings you can do the visibility, the name of the car for Bluetooth, and the Bluetooth is on. Radio media, it will go automatically into your DAB, digital radio, and you can scan and go everywhere, change the radio, internet radio, Bluetooth, my media, if you want that. What is internet radio? Does it do anything? If I go into radio, then I have again the same thing, what I want to hear, and if I go into country, it will show me different internet radios in different countries. I can see podcasts. I can go to my media from via Bluetooth, or I can plug in a device in the 4 USB-C plugs and play music and videos from there. And of course I can have a radio favorite. And if I go into settings, into radio, I have more settings for my stations, quality and everything. And for media, I have select your Bluetooth device so it knows what we want to use. Navigation, we go in here. The navigation is pretty much the same as it was before. It looks a bit different. You still have your normal navigation here. I have it turned on that I can see my range. So it shows me how far I can go, but you can turn that off. When you go in the settings, you can turn on, well, we're gonna do that in a second. The buttons that you have here is that it can be north up, that I like. It can be 2D in the direction that you want to see, and 3D like this. It shows you your speed limit, and here you can say if you want to see chargers or not, and then it will show me available chargers if they're supported by WeCharge, Ionity for example, and so on. It will show those, but you can turn this off or all, but I have it on this. Then in this you can see the people that you know and navigate to those. You can see the last destination that you went, a suggested destination. We also see your last destinations, and then airport, parking spots, train station, food, parking and chargers, and your favorites, where right now I don't even know why I have this favorite in here. We delete that. And you can search those if it's many. You can search also in your last destinations if it's many. And let's go into settings. In settings we have the navigation announcement. This can be comprehensive, so it will say the street name and everything, and brief, where it just says turn right. You can say during calls it should be off, or just a notification. Then you can do the volume of it and reduce for announcement. If you reduce the infotainment system, your music. Then repeat navigation announcement, and you press this, it will repeat what it said the last time. Color scheme, it can be automatic. When the lights are on, it will be night. When the lights are off, so when the light sensor notices that it's day or night, it will switch between those two. I have it in night all the time. Show range on map, this was what I just showed you. Then basic functions, we have learn usage pattern, delete usage patterns. You can learn it. Why is this off? And route guidance has now all the options. Avoid traffic congestion, you can just do it, ask or not do it. Range warning, it will give you a warning, hey, I don't think you could get to your destination. I turned it off. Country information, a border crossing, it will tell you what is the speed limit in city, country and on the highway. Info signs on motorways and dual carriageways, that's awesome. It shows you a big thing on the motorway that you have to follow. It's way better. And then we have route options. In the route option, we have avoid routes requiring toll sticker except, so you can have to say no toll except for these countries. We have avoid ferries, time seasonal restricted routes, toll roads, avoid motorways. Then we have the battery function, which is optimize the rapid charging function with active route guidance. When you have that on, it will preheat the battery when you're navigating to a charger, and it will do that gradually. When you do it manually, we'll see that in a second, it will heat up with 5 kilowatt and as fast as possible. And when you do that, it sees you have 100 kilometers to the charger. I will heat it up very gradually, that when you are at the charger, it will have that it will have the perfect temperature, and that's awesome. So it's not full, but when you change your plan, it could be then when you charge too early, it won't be that warm. And then add charging stopovers automatically, and you can turn that on and off. And you have 3 settings: prioritize WeCharge, so where WeCharge is being accepted, then remaining range at the destination, and remaining range at the charging stopover goes from 10 to 60, and the other one from 10 to 100 kilometers. That's your range. It's not via state of charge. That's all you can do. And that's our map. We go back to my thing that I want to see. Then we go into vehicle. In vehicle, you have 2 pages here. Status will show you your total distance, so your odometer, and you have this is the trip recorder. So you can it's the same in ID3. Well, in the old software, it shows 100 meters too, not just that the normal trip shows 150 kilometers. That's a bit sad. Shows your instant consumption here, and your trip data. You can zero it from here. And you have your 3 trips: since start, long term, and since charging. The since start will reset itself after, I think, 4 hours of parking. Since charging resets itself when you're of course after the charge. But the good thing with since start is that it will still show you the number from the day before until you drive. So when you get into the car, you can still see your number from the last time, but then you drive on and it will zero automatically. In vehicle, we have interior and exterior. Let's do interior. We only have 1 page. Head-up display, it can be on, off. The augmented reality pod can be on, off. Here you have your position. It can go down and you can angle it a bit. You can change your brightness. Color scheme can be standard or snow. Difference is that then what is white is a bit bluish. Close range content, this is then what you want to see. If driver assist can be on, off. Navigation can be on, off. Road signs can be on, off. Then augmented reality pod, driver assist, you can select if you want to see travel assist, adaptive cruise control. So travel assist means you get the lines that travel assist is on. Adaptive cruise control shows you that what car it takes for the distance. And lane keep assist, when lane assist is on, it will show you what line you are too close. Navigation, so it will show you that soon you have to go 200 meters, you have to go right, and then the arrow when you have to go in. And basic information is when something else is happening. I don't even know exactly what. Cockpit is again your reset of your trips and your trip recorder. ID light is the light there in the front. You can change the brightness of this. You can turn on and off different function. Pausing and standby, I don't need that, that's true. Charging, so the green one. Fault indication, if something is wrong, it will show you. Restricted performance, it will show that. Navigation, turn alert, so if you have to go off the highway, just one side will be blue. That's amazing. Lane guidance as well, it will show you when you have to go off. Infotainment system, if there's a call, it will show voice assist, it will be white, brief safety interruption. If, for example, in travel assist, you don't have the steering wheel on as long the hand on the steering wheel for a while. And driving and maneuvering, take over steering, that's what I just said, so it's different. Park assist will show when the park assist is doing something, and traffic hazard alert. Next is the interior lighting. This is the same as up here, the same thing, dark mode or bright mode. Seats, you only have the option for the easy entry, that was also in the seat function, it's the same thing. Exterior. In the exterior we have the comfort light. That light animation means when you turn on the car, the light will dip down and go up. You can turn that off if you don't want that. Switch on when approached, you get close to the car and the lights will turn on. Exit light duration, when you get out of the car, lock it and go away for 30 seconds, the light will stay on. Entry light duration, when you get into the car, those lights here are on and will keep on for 30 seconds. Tail light can be 3 different animations when you lock the car, I have it off. And the turn signal can be classic, where it just indicates, and dynamic, where it shows a movement. Then tires, you can set your tire pressure. You cannot see the tire pressure, but if you know your tire pressure is fine, you can press set, and then it will just notice if there's a difference in the tire pressure, and will tell you, hey, there's something wrong. You can have a speed warning for winter tires, that about 30 kilometers, warning at, so we can say at 180 I want a warning, because with winter tires I shouldn't drive that fast. Mirrors can be adjusted synchronous, so both mirrors, I have that off, so if you put this to the left, this one goes to the right. Lower in reverse, when you put the rear, when you put the car into reverse and you select one mirror, left or right, and have this on, this one will dip so you can see the curb. Fold in when locking. And then we have headlights, that's important. Dynamic light assist. It just adjusts the distance according to the road. Dynamic cornering light, it will move it into the corner. So when you drive into, switch on time is the light sensor, how sensitive it should be. I have it on early, that even if it's not that dark, it will already turn on. Automatic headlight control in rain. When the wipers are on and the rain sensor detects rain, the light will be on even though it's day. Convenient turn signal is that when you just tap it, it will just blink 3 times. When you have that off, I think it's just once. Exactly. And then travel mode, driving on the right or on the left. It's important for the light if you are in the UK or not. And then we have the headlights. Next page, we have brakes. In the brakes, we have the ESC system that can be in normal on or in sport. As in, I have never tried it. Rollaway protection, always ask when N is engaged. If you put it into drive and then just go a bit forward light, I'm in N. And if I do more, then I'm in B or D, whatever. And if it can be, always ask when N is engaged. Auto hold, you can turn on here, but of course, like you said, you can have it in many favorites in there. Easy open for the trunk, so when you do your gesture with your foot, can be on and off. Then window control, convenience opening. This means when you hold the unlock button on your key, then the window will open, either all windows or just the driver window. I don't want that. And that's it, right? Yeah. And then opening, closing, keyless access can be active. So if you turn that off, then the car will not unlock when you get close to the car with the key. You have to touch the door handle. Then lock vehicle when walking away. If you go away from the car, it will beep once when it's locked, and it will beep twice if a door is not fully closed and it didn't lock, if there was an error. Important is, when you lock with the key or with the touch of the door handle, the alarm system is off and you cannot open the door from inside. If you just go away and it locks itself, alarm system is off and you can open it from inside. So when you have dogs, kids or someone else in the car, it's better to not lock with the key or with the door handle. You just go away, it will lock, but those people in here can still go out. Acoustic warning if locking fails, that's the 2 beeps. Unlock when being approached. Like I said, central locking, so if you get to the car, should it unlock all doors, just a single door, or the vehicle side. Easy open, that was the trunk, and interior monitoring, even though I have it off in here, it's still on every time I turn off the car. Then the next is the service position for the wipers. And wiper control, wipe automatically in rain, and again, service position. And that was vehicle. Android Auto, I don't have a Apple phone, so I'm just showing you that. Android Auto will use the full screen except for top or bottom, and you can still go with the home button back and with Android Auto in here because I put a shortcut up here. And you can see all your apps and still the navigation. It can be divided like this. You can have the full map, no? I have in here full map like this, or full Spotify, whatever you want, and it works the same way as we know, but it just beeped and I don't know why. Maybe I should lock. And it just works well and is a great size. Next, parking. Park Assist Plus is in this car, and what you have is you have your camera. By the way, that only works when you are parked. When you're driving, you cannot use it. You have here your, that's my front camera by the way, but it can be a different view. You can spray it, but it sprays the rear one, and you can see that it's sprayed here. You can put it on full screen and back, and then if I press this, I see the rear one, and I have different views for the rear like this. I can see the side ones, and again the front one if I want to. And this all can be in big. I don't think this can be in big, can it? No, it just goes back and forth. No. And the park assist, there should be more settings here. Park distance control, activate automatically, so when you're close to something it will start beeping and show what the distance to objects, and you can adjust the volume for the front and the rear, and reduce infotainment system when parking. Then you have the exit warning system, so when you open your door and there's a car coming from behind, it will warn you, hey, don't do that. Maneuver braking, I don't know exactly what that is. Rear traffic alert, when you go out of a parking and there's a car coming from the side, it will beep. A park assist with memory function, you can turn that on and off if you don't want that. If you want that, you you park every time when you stop the car. You can save the parking that you just did. So you just press this, and then you can add it and say and name it, and then say I want this should be saved the next time I'm in this area. But the thing is, it has to be the same situation. So if a car is parked here and there, the next time those cars have to be there, otherwise it doesn't recognize that. But at home, where usually you have the same obstacles to avoid into your garage, you can save your parking. When you're there, it will say, hey, I noticed that this is somewhere where you saved parking. Then you have to stop, say, please park for me. It does it slowly, of course, for safety, but it will do everything itself, steering, and then stop and put it into park. And the other thing that you can have with Park Assist is then your normal parking. So we'll recognize a parking spot if you drive by, and then you can select how you want to park in this parking spot and say start, and it will start the parking thing. And this can be in front of you, on the left, on the right, or in the rear, of course. Charging. In the charging screen, you have your state of charge, you have your range, you have your charge limit that you can set down to 50% in 10% steps up to 100. You have settings here where you have battery care mode. Battery care mode is when you turn that on, when you charge to 100%, it will automatically, after the charging, put the charge limit back to 80%. So you don't forget that it's at 100%, not the next time. Then plug and charge. If you enable this with the app, you can have it here and turn it on or off if you don't want to use it. Bidirectional charging will show you how many hours and kilowatt hours you have done vehicle to home. If you have the charger for at home that you need, you can reduce the AC charge current. Normally it will charge with 11 kilowatt AC. If you turn that on with 5.5, and when you charge with the 2 kilowatt charger, it will go from 2 kilowatt down to 1 kilowatt. And then release AC charging connector automatically. If you turn that off when charging is done, it will unlock and you can plug it out. Otherwise, you always have to unlock the car to get into this. Optimize. Here you can see your kilowatt of rapid charging you could have right now at this state of charge and the battery temperature of the car. And if you optimize it, you could have 110 kilowatt, but the battery heating will take 20 minutes. And if you press this, it will start battery heating. Important, the car has to be in drive. When you in park like this, nothing will happen. And charging location, here you can add a charging location like right now. Let's call it frei. Then you can select different times. Let's say I want again the same charging settings. You can say I want at 7 a.m. on the Tuesday and the Thursday and repeat every week. I want it to charge in air conditioning for departure time. When you plug it in, charge directly to 50%. Let's say if you arrive with 10%, it will do that automatically to the state of charge that you select here. Let's say 50%. I can keep it at 0, that it doesn't do that. Then to what state of charge it should charge at those times when you set to the 7. So right now, tomorrow at Tuesday at 7 a.m. it will preheat to 23 degrees and charge to 100%. I don't want that. And I also have preferred time, so I can say please charge between 10 and 6 a.m. because it's cheap. You can do that and it will do that. But important is here, when you've done all of this, you have to, when you arrive at home, up here it will say how it's gonna charge. Charge immediately to 80%. If you click on that, you have charge for departure time on Tuesday 7 a.m. So if you do this, it will just charge to the whatever we just selected and charge in air conditioning on the departure time. Now, tomorrow it will be at 7 a.m. will be at 80% and it will be preheated at the same time. And you can but this is important that you do that. When you don't do that, you can still do it afterwards in the app when you're not in the car, but you can't do it if you don't use the app. You can't do it after you got out of the car. And by the way, also something that you can change when you get the goodbye screen, you can edit this, can delete battery alerts, you can change the order that you have in here. And what you have is your charging, air conditioning down. When you press this, you can get out of the car and the car will be heated to your normal settings for half an hour. Then stationary air conditioning on Wednesday can be on off. This is something I said. We come to that in a second. Interior monitoring on off, wiper position, and save the parking progress that we just parked when we came here. Then we have stationary air conditioning. You can select the temperature that it should have, if it should heat up the windows at the same time. So when I turn that off, it will defrost the back and the rear. And you have a setting here, start stationary air conditioning when vehicle is unlocked. So when you have this on, you get to the car and it unlocks, it will start the air conditioning already, even though you're not in the car and press the ignition. So if you unlock it, go away, it will heat until you lock it again. And then you have a departure time where again you can set the time, the days, if it should be once or repeated, and then you can turn it off. You have 2 departure times, and that's your preheating. Assist system. Assist system can be in a list, which I prefer, or it can be in image view. Here then this is the lane assist, for example. This is your front assist. I think this is adaptive cruise control, the drowsiness warning. but it can be in a list like this. You have lane assist, which is always on, EU mandatory, and when you're driving and you're too close to a line, it will pull you back and vibrate the steering wheel. You can adjust this with the turn it off, of course, and steering wheel vibration should be on or off. Speed warning, another thing that has to be on by EU regulation, and it will always be in this setting when you get into the car, but when you drive you can change it. You can change it to just a display, not a sound. You can turn it off. It can be a threshold that you say only when I'm 10 kilometers an hour more, then it should start displaying or beeping. And infrasound when the maximum, the speed limit sign. So when it goes from 50 to 70 or the other way around, there can be an infrasound. But every time you get into the car, it will be at the standard setting. Attention monitor, this will see if you are paying attention to the road or not, but this can be turned off permanently. Drowsiness monitor, the same thing. When it notices that you're steering in a bit way or you're pulling in a weird way, it will say, hey, don't you want to take a little break, huh? Then we have front assist. This will detect if a car in front of you is braking very strongly. The ID light will turn red, it will beep, and it will brake automatically. And it can also have a display distance warning. When you're too close to a car, it will show you a little warning in your cockpit. Swerve support, so it will go around. Oncoming vehicle braking with turning. Then we have travel assist. The only setting here is assisted lane changing. When you have travel assist on, the self-steering, and then you just tap your blinker, it will do the whole passing a car on the highway itself. If there's nobody beside you, it will monitor this if this is all safe. Adaptive cruise control, we only have 3 settings. Before we had more. Now we have speed limit response. This will, every time it detects a different speed limit, it will adjust your cruise control to that speed, not higher or lower, exactly to that speed. Road layout response. This means that when it knows there's a corner and it's a strong corner, it has a map where it thinks, I think this speed would be better, and will adjust the speed. And end of queue, when there's a traffic jam, and with Car2X there's a message that, hey, there's a traffic jam, it will already slow you down before the traffic jams for safety. The speed limiter can just be on and off. I have it off, but I still have it in my system here. Eco Assist. This is just a thing that will show you in the cockpit and in the head-up display, hey, you should get off the gas pedal here to have a lower consumption, maybe use regen here, and it will adjust the regen also according to the distance to the car and your speed. Side assist is the blind spot warning in the mirrors. There's a little light that you can adjust the brightness here, and you can turn it on or off. And then traffic hazard alert. This is when Car2X shows a message, hey, there's something going on. It will show a message, hey, there is an accident ahead, and will show you information about this. Then settings. In the settings, we have our screen. It can show clock in standby mode, rear passenger detection tone, so if there's someone sitting and I get out, it will beep. Enable sound for safety interruption. I don't know what that is. Touchscreen tone of the infotainment system, tone for other controls. I have all of this turned off. Time and date is automatic, or you can do it yourself. And also what format it should be on, in what region are you. Then language can be all of those, a lot, and it depending on what language you have chosen, on the bottom you can select if it's male or female. Additional keypads layout, so if you want, for me, for example, have English and German in here, because it's a different layout of the keys. Then units, you can say kilometers or miles, speed, kilometers an hour, miles per hour, temperature, Celsius or Fahrenheit, tire pressure, bar, PSI, or kPa, I don't even know, Pascal, I don't know. Which is weird because nowhere in the car it shows me the tire pressure. And the consumption can be in all of this, also miles per kilowatt hour, kilowatt hours per 100 miles, kilometers per kilowatt hour. Ooh, or kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers. A lot of different things. Then voice assist can be on or off. It can be a beep at the start of the dialogue and of the voice input. You can do the volume of the voice that it tells you. Show voice input. So if you say something, it will write it down what you have said. Take calls without an activation word. I guess it just takes the call. Then male or female. The IDA. If we go in there right away, it gives you a suggestion what you can use it for. Configuration at 0%. Let's go home, have a good journey. And the activation you can turn it on and off, and you can set your own activation word. It can be the normal that I turn off now, hello ID, hello IDA, but you can write or say and record your own thing. I did hello Hank, and it worked, but I'm not using this too much. And then tips, you can see all the millions of things that you can do. I'm gonna do an extra video about the IDA and see what we can do and what we can achieve with it. Go back to the settings, restore factory settings and upgrades. Upgrades don't work. I don't see anything, nothing comes up. Then we have your network. You have your Wi-Fi here, infotainment system as hotspots. When you go in here, you can turn it on and off. You see connected devices, your name of your Wi-Fi and your password. And then we have quick connecting to your infotainment system via QR code, and you can connect to a Wi-Fi outside of the car. Oh wait, there should be more. And Bluetooth. Bluetooth is here and well. Then you have information about the system, show all updates as it was before, no updates, and copyright things are in here, and then configuration wizard if you need that. Next is driving profile. We have 4 driving profiles: Eco, Comfort and Sport. In Eco, power is very reduced for acceleration. Top speed is 130 and the power is limited. But when you press the power, there is a button in the accelerator pedal. If you press that, you get out of Eco instantly and you have full power. That's for safety. Comfort gives you normal acceleration, and heat is also reduced, and air conditioning in Eco. In Comfort you have everything full, and the only difference to Sport is that in Sport you have a bit more torque in the beginning, but I did an acceleration test, there's almost no difference. And in Sport mode you have a different pedestrian warning sound that sounds like a Porsche Taycan. In individual, you can now change all the settings. You can change your DCC, dynamic chassis control, can be more to comfort or more to sport. Your steering can be comfort or sport. Drive can be eco, comfort or sport. In exterior engine sound, that's what I just said. The sport sounds more like the Taycan, and comfort is the normal one. Adaptive cruise control. Eco, comfort and sport, this is how it adjusts the speed if you change it. Does it do it fast with a lot of power in sport, or slow with not a lot of power in eco? Light assist, I have no idea what the difference is between comfort and sport. In air conditioning in eco, it just takes less energy for heating and cooling. In comfort, it's normal. Background is the ambient light. Here you have either your mood. You have different moods. You can be off and automatic according to your drive mode, and you have the brightness up here that you can adjust. And in individual, you have 4 different things that you can say. 1 zone, 2 zones, up and at the bottom and the top is the same color, or this pattern or this pattern. I have it in this, and then you have 2 colors that you can select that you want. I always had those 2 and I like it, and it will change different areas. And in brightness, you can select the foot area brightness, the one in the door, the one up here, and the one up here. So 4 zones can be changed in brightness however you want it. Next page, we have the seats that we already did. It's the same setting. Sound system, we have different settings here. We have a 4-band EQ and the subwoofer, and you can reset it when you press here. This is just an icon, doesn't do anything. And down here we have sound profiles, so more clear, I don't even know what the names are for speech, and vibrant down here. Then I think that's it for the settings. Up here you can then in settings you have different tones, so goodbye sound, enabling sound for safety interruption, tone for other control, touch tone for the infotainment system. So if we touch something you get a beep. We don't want that. Volume. Here, radio announcement, you can change the volume, adjust according to speed. So if you drive faster and it's too quiet than it is when you drive slow, you have to turn it off. Maximum switch on volume, that's awesome. So when you get into the car and last night you were partying and it's extremely loud, it will always go back to that volume. I like that. Reduce infotainment volume when parking. Goodbye sound, you can change the volume, but I turned it off. And Bluetooth audio can be in different volumes here too, and you can get to the navigation announcement and the voice control. In focus, you have your balance fader where it should be, so more to the driver, more to the passenger, more in the rear or center. Sound focus, you can also select the seat that you think it should be. And surround sound effect, this will give you a bit of an effect of surround, and if it's on full, I find the highs pretty harsh, but it's a bit on, sounds good. I like it. Users, in users you can go into settings, you can say login details, protect user account with S PIN. You can turn that on, that every time you get into the car, the S PIN that you have selected once with since 3.0, you have to put that in every time. Then information about the user, privacy setting, this all has to be on so the car works fine. And you can delete active user. You can see me and you can do other users, so add a different user or a guest. Then IDA we already did. Tips and help, it will just tell you what to do if you want to change something, and tips on operating, and what is custom? Tiles on home screen, menu order, all of different things. I have never gone through this. ID software, it just shows you what ID software is on the car. It should be 4.0, and for whatever reason it takes a while, and all the legal info. Then the games. When you have installed this from your shop, again have your legal info, then you have, what is it, 3, 6, 10 different games, memo deck. There was a thing before where in games where you have 2 pictures and you have to see the differences. I like that game. That's not in there anymore. And you can do that, the most games you do with your touchscreen. A few you can even do with the buttons on your steering wheel. Yeah, if you need that, go play that. Then we have air conditioning, where you just get into your climate that we do we haven't done that yet, it's true. We have to do that we do it now. Yeah, when we're already in here. This is our climate window, and you have your AC on, AC max, you have your airflow here, recirculation, this is your air care, that means AC goes on and will clean the air in here. You have your steering wheel heater button that you also have on the steering wheel itself. You have your button to get to the rear. When seat belts are plugged in, then it will heat up the rear as well, but you can lock it that nobody can switch the temperature or the seat heating in the rear. Only you can do that. You have your front wheel heating via infrared. Then on the left you have your air flow to the window, in the middle, or to the feet. Sync button to sync left and right, and you can turn it on and off here. And you can you have your air vents here in the ID.7 that you can move around where you want the air to go, and you can even turn those on and off. And then if you have it in auto, for example, it always turns the AC on. I don't like that. And you can say that those air vents here, because it's just me that's sitting here, nobody is a passenger, that's why it's not heating up the right area here. You can say that those air vents should go away from me or on me. You can do that here, and you can do it for the passenger as well. Then we have a different setting. I don't like that, by the way. I do it like this. We have our special settings here. You can do automatic air recirculation. So when it notices outside air quality is bad, and it's not smell, it's quality, it will do automatic air recirculation. I don't like that. Then switch on at start of journey depending on temperature. According to the temperature, it will do those three things. So steering wheel heating, and you can select what level it should be, off, 1, 2 or 3. Seat heating, the same. And when it's warm in the summer, also seat ventilation. So when it's 30 degrees and you set this to level 1, you get into the car, seat ventilation will be automatic on. And then automatic vent positioning adjustment. That's what I just showed you. If you turn that off, then you always have to do it by hand. What you also have are your smart climate functions. Those are these. If you press one of those, it will do exactly what it says. Rapid heating, rapid cooling. Warm my hands mean the steering wheel heater will go on and the air vent will blow to the hand. Fresh air, that means that if you have recirculation on, it will turn it off. Warm my feet, air goes to the feet. Cool my feet, cold air goes to the feet. Defog window, it will go blow heat with a long, strong pressure, strong airflow to the windshield. Then we have the shop. That always takes a while when you go in for the first time. In here you just can select what country you want to use the shop. And right now I only have 6 things I can buy. WeConnect Plus is already included because otherwise I cannot use the app. WeCharge would be the app for special charging stations. I'm not using that. Fahrzeug service it's in English, in German, which means it will tell you and schedule a service if this is needed after 2 years. Travel Assist with Swarm data, you can, if you don't have this, you can buy it in here. Your games and Spotify. And Spotify is the next thing we're going to look at because we have legal info here. That is a lot, I guess. My God, it has to think. We don't need that. We want Spotify. Spotify, when it's on, it will play automatically. And it was on when you turn off the car, will also play automatically. You have your reasons that you played. It uses the data of your 4G connection and it's included in WeConnect. So it's for free. It's in the contract. You can browse. You can have your library here. You can search for stuff. You cannot use voice command. I tried that. It didn't work. So if I say search for a band or something, play a band, it doesn't do that. And it has still missing a few functions than the normal Spotify on your phone has, but it works, and it works really well. It also does a little fade in when it plays a song. That's a bit not nice, so the first half second is missing on your song. I don't like that either, but it works. And I think that was it. I think we did it. Haha. But that's it for me. Thank you very much for watching. Have a great day and take care. Bye.